Hi, my name is Neil Kelleher. I recently had a comment on one of my videos from a person who cannot bend forward past 90 degrees. So, for example, perhaps in this position with both legs straight, this is as far forward as they can get. Or even with one leg straight, they cannot bend forward. And I've had students in my classes like this. Some of them can't even bend forward much beyond this. So the idea of this video is to give you some tips on what you can do to learn to bend forward. Please be aware that it may take some time to develop the ability to bend forward. The idea of these exercises is to give you the feeling of what it's actually like to bend forward while sitting. So to start off with, one position which I've just recently become familiar with, which I find quite useful, rather than just crossing the legs and bending forward, fold one leg back. This foot position is called the easy Bharadvajasana foot position. So one leg's folded back, foot is to the outside of the hip, meanwhile the other foot is folded inwards. And you could try and have your knee pointing straight ahead relative to the pelvis. If you're limited, then just have it out to the side. Doesn't matter if this hip lifts. Probably if you're tight, you might find that this hip lifts anyway. That's all right. Simply from this position, bend forward. Excuse me. So from here, bend forward and see if you can focus on feeling your pelvis tilting forward relative to your legs. And the one person I had in my class who couldn't bend forward with both legs straight, he could do this reasonably easy. What you can focus on doing while you're in the pose is reach your arms forward. Also reach your spine forward. Try and make your spine feel long. Move your ribs away from your pelvis. To add to the experience of tilting your pelvis forwards, from this position you can reach your arms to the side so you're over one knee and bend forward in this position. Guess I'm still in the camera. You can bend forward in this position as well. You might not be able to bend as far forward as I'm doing, but work towards it. Most important thing, try and keep your spine long. So after you've held this position for a few breaths, maybe a minute or so, go back to center. And then from there, go back towards this leg. You might find this is slightly more difficult, but here, do the best that you can. Here again, focus on making your spine feel long. Try and tilt your pelvis forward to get your chest closer to the leg. So try that on both sides. And also I'll post on my website, I'll have some pictures so you have a quick reference so you don't have to watch this video each time. Another position which you can use, and again the idea of all of these positions is to get used to tilting your pelvis forward with your knees bent, and then the idea is see if you can carry that forward into bending forward with legs straight. But in this position, I'm kneeling, sitting on one heel, the other foot's flat on the floor. Again, spine long, see if you can get your hands on the floor, and then from there, see if you can lean your elbows on the floor. Rather than letting your head hang, you might not be able to get down that far, so even if your hands are here, rather than letting your head hang, make your neck long. Focus on drawing your head away from your rib cage. So try that on both sides. Another option here, and you can think of this as a forward bend with the knee bent as opposed to straight. So with the leg straight, you might be doing a forward bend like this. With the knee bent, you can actually get your chest close to the thigh or even below the knee. So doing that in a low lunge position, normally the idea is to get your elbows to the floor with your arms close to the foot. But you may find that you're limited in that way. So again, so what you can do, start, turn to the side. Try and sink your elbows to the floor in this position. So your torso is out away from your thigh. After you've held this for a few breaths, maybe about a minute or so until you get comfortable in that position. Then try moving in closer to your foot. Hold here for a while, keep your neck long, and then even closer yet. And one other point, whichever variation of this you are holding, what you may find it helpful to do is to slowly lift your back knee off of the floor so that the weight of your leg helps your pelvis to sink down. And keep your neck long at the same time. So again, do that on both sides. With both legs straight. And we're moving to standing here. This is just so it's easier to use gravity to help you do a forward bend. So with legs straight, normally you might bend straight over your front leg. Like I did in the low lunge, what you can do instead is have your hands sort of bend, turn inwards a little bit, hands on the floor, bend forward here. What you may find it helpful to do is slowly stand up, coming out of the stand completely up, and then bend forward as far as you can. Stand up and then bend forward. Or you can just hold the position. And then from there you can slowly start to move your hands inwards again towards your front leg. And from there to here. And then even try and place your hands outside your front foot. Do that gradually. Hold for any number of breaths, and while you're holding the pose, rather than just waiting, you can focus on use your breath. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, relax. I'll do two more poses, I think. One other pose that might be useful is to sit with one knee bent. If you find this is uncomfortable on your knee, you might want to sit on a block, but try this anyway. Sit on one knee, legs out to the side, and one action you can do, and this is to help open up your hips, is point your knee forward, pull the front of the foot inwards, and then point the knee up, and then point the knee forward. Hold both of these positions for maybe 5 or 10 seconds, and then up, point your knee up. Then again, point your knee forward, try and pull the front of the foot inwards, and press the outside edge of the foot down into the floor, and then from here, bend forward. Hold this, keep your neck long, you can reach your hands forward if you like, and then from there, reach towards your straight foot side. Here again, try to lengthen your spine, make both legs feel long as well. Do that on both sides. If you like, you could also do this martial arts position like this. If you can't balance on the foot, if you can balance with your heel and foot on the floor, leave this out for now and just focus on the previous stretch that I just showed you. Now then, using all of the previous stretches to get used to tilting your pelvis forward, now you can try doing it with one leg straight, so you're actually doing proper forward bends almost. You probably still won't be able to bend forward towards your knee, but what you could do instead, my legs are open about 90 degrees, so from this direction, instead of bending straight forward, what I'll do is turn away from my straight leg, slightly towards my bent knee, and bend forward here. You may find that this hip wants to lift up. That's fine, let it do that for now. Get used to the feeling of bending forward, but keep your spine long as you do so. And do try and keep this knee pointing up if you can. So from this position, you can slowly keep your spine long, slowly tilt forward, and then from there, hold this for until it feels comfortable. As you practice, you get a sense of what feels right. But if you don't get a sense, try holding for about a minute at least, between a minute and 2 minutes. So from here, neck long, try and sneak over towards your straight leg. Hold for a few breaths, breathe, smile. Oh yes, that feels so good. And then when you're ready, move your legs up, move your hands over, try and sneak closer towards your straight leg. And then closer and closer. So I'm accelerating this. So eventually you might actually be over your leg, or you might not. But try and see if you can get a little bit closer each time. While you are holding the position, whichever pose you're doing, focus on making your spine feel long. Make your neck feel long. And although your goal is eventually to get a forward bend, don't have in, rather than focusing as like, I want to bend forward, instead focus on keeping your spine long and open, and see if you can wait for the feeling of openness in your body. As soon as you feel open, try and move into that space. So wait here for a few moments, feel your body, see if you can make your leg feel long as well. Once it starts to relax a little bit, take up the slack and move deeper into the pose. Focus on lengthening, create as much space in your body as you can, wait for the opening to appear, and then go a little bit deeper. Try and move into it gradually that way. And do this, you probably will have to do this over the course of a few weeks or months to show some progress. But try, so that the process is endurable, focus on feeling your body while you hold the pose. Any questions, please feel free to contact me via my website, sensationalyogaposes.com. Thank you very much.